We are 2 games through the 2024 NBA Finals, and the Boston Celtics have taken a commanding 2-0 lead. After a big win for the Celtics on Thursday in Game 1, you knew the Mavericks were going to come out with a sense of urgency. They really needed to win Game 2, and they started out hot. They took an early 13-6 lead. Both Kyrie and Luka were playing well, so maybe it was feeling like, oh, they're going to ball out together. And Luka definitely did, with his scoring at least, but Kyrie did not, and at this point, it feels like this series is getting pretty close to being over.
It's not looking good. Luka drops a 32-point triple-double. The Celtics shoot basically 25% from 3. Tatum again struggles with his shooting, and the Celtics still win. Not looking good for the Mavericks at the moment.
Before we start talking about Game 2 of the NBA Finals, please give the video a like, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you never miss out on any new videos. So first, let's do a quick recap of Game 2, then we'll talk about like possible adjustments in the rest of the series. Like we said in the intro, the Mavericks started out very well. A deep 2 from Kyrie gave him a 13-6 lead. And yeah, like I said, it was looking like both of them, maybe like Luka and Kyrie could have big games. Celtics responded, and outside of Luka, like the Mavericks are really struggling to hit shots, get good looks. But the Celtics, on the other end, could not hit a 3 to save their life.
Yeah, it took the entire first quarter for them to just hit one. Al Horford hits one with just 3 seconds left in the quarter, but even still, the Mavericks, they closed the first with a little bit of momentum. Josh Green gets some free throws after a really dumb foul by the Celtics on a 3-pointer at the end of the quarter. So you got a 3-point lead going into the second, and Luka in the first and second quarter, I mean, he was cooking. The Celtics were single covering him, and he was just making his living in the mid-range. As a former big man myself, it was just seeing the mid-range fadeaway jumpers. It reminded me of like prime LaMarcus Aldridge, about how he just backed dudes in, spin around, hit a jump shot. It was beautiful. And yet Derek White hits a corner 3 in the middle of the second quarter, and the Celtics have the lead.
Yeah, first lead of the game, teams kind of go back and forth going into halftime, but the Celtics end up taking a 3-point lead going into half. And kind of the reason we titled the video, the Mavericks are cooked, and why I feel like they're cooked is these first half stats are just ridiculous. Luka has 23 points at the half. Tatum has 5 points on 2 of 10 shooting. The Celtics are shooting 3 of 15 from 3, and they're still up. Like, I know Kyrie was not playing well. The Mavericks themselves weren't shooting great either, but at the same time, how are those stats possible and the Celtics can still be up? I don't even get.
Shout out Jrue Holiday, though. I mean, he was incredible in this first half on both offense and defense. At this point, he might be the favorite to win Finals MVP. He's been great all playoffs, but in Game 1, what do you have, 17 points in the first half?
Yeah, he was great. His basketball IQ is just ridiculous.
Off the chart.
The cuts he makes, we obviously know he's great on defense. And Celtics fans, you can thank the Blazers for just like gifting you guys this guy.
Joe Cronin did you a solid.
Yeah, basically got you guys the title at this point. That's what it's looking like. Second half, Luka stayed hot, kept hitting those just insane like post fade shots. And I thought Tatum was at least much better in the second half. Still really struggled to get his shot down, but he was much more aggressive. He was getting to the line, attacking the basket, made some really good passes. He made some plays on defense. I mean, I know he's lucky as hell that his team is so stacked, and we'll talk more about that. But at the same time, outside of his scoring, he's doing everything he can to help his team.
Yeah, we got some pushback on the Game 1 video for like the same thing. It's like, yeah, he didn't shoot well, but he did everything else, which is what he should do. If you're not shooting well, find other ways to impact the game. And I thought in the first half especially, he knew like his shot wasn't going. Like after that and one he got, he had that look on his face that we all have where we've been shooting like we finally get one to go down, and you're relieved you got one to go in, but at the same time you're like, man. But I thought in the first half, he was great distributing the ball. I will still say, though, I don't think he's playing that well.
No, I don't think so either.
Like, if I had to give him a letter grade for this series, C+, maybe?
Yeah.
And if you had to rank, like, the Finals MVP candidates, like a ladder of them, I think he's, like, third at best.
And at one point in the third quarter, the Celtics were up by 12 while shooting 4 of 24 from 3. Like, this was a game the Mavericks needed to win. I don't think the Celtics will shoot this bad again, but I mean, it's just so difficult for them to generate offense because they just don't have the shooters. Kyrie is just getting clamped. Like, they're playing him so physical. They're letting them play, just locking up Kyrie. Luka's getting his, but they're still forcing him into turnovers. I don't know, like, offensively for the Mavericks, It's tough to see an adjustment that's going to fix this.
Well, they don't have any spacing whatsoever. I mean, we'll talk a little bit later about like the adjustments the Celtics made, but it's like as good as Lively and Gafford have been for the entire playoffs, it's like whoever's guarding them, just go stand in the paint.
Yeah.
Like why would you leave that area? That's the only area they can do any kind of damage. They're big lob threats. Like just stay in front of them, get in the way, make sure they can't get that off like a pick and roll or something. And the Celtics are the exact opposite. Like at all times, they have 5 dudes out on the floor who can shoot the ball.
Yeah, Luka and Kyrie, they both made some plays near the end of the third. They got the lead down to 6. It was feeling like, okay, this is within striking distance. You're entering the fourth quarter. And then Peyton Pritchard, of all players, banks in a 3 from 38 feet, puts the lead to 9 from 6. And to me, this was the dagger. Like, that is such a momentum shift for a Mavericks team that was already struggling to kind of score. That shot, like, it felt a lot like the Jordan Poole shots in the 2022 finals. You hit that, it just kills all momentum, anything you had. That is so tough to stomach going to the fourth quarter.
And to me, it's even tougher that he banked it in.
Exactly.
He didn't even swish it. He banks it in. Fourth quarter, the Mavericks refused to go away. They weren't really able to close the gap much until the very end, down 5. PJ Washington's driving to the hoop on a fast break, blocked from behind by Derek White, but also pushed in the back from behind by Jaylen Brown. So definitely should have been called a foul, but it wasn't. Celtics hang on. They eventually win 105-98, take a 2-0 lead in the series. For the rest of the series going forward, look, as the guy who picked the Mavericks to win the series, I am concerned. It's hard to see them coming back from this. It has happened historically in the NBA Finals. Teams that are down 0-2 are a whopping 5-31.
Yikes.
Not great. Teams who have done it: 69 Celtics, 77 Blazers, shout out Bill Walton, 2006 Heat, 2016 Cavs, and the 2021 Bucks. So it's happened. It just hasn't happened very often.
And kind of what we talked about, the Mavericks offense, so tough for them because if you're the Celtics, there's so many guys you can sag off of a little bit and kind of like go over to Luka for a second, double him for 1 second, then go back. Like Derek Jones Jr., PJ Washington, Daniel Gafford, Derek Lively, Dante Exum, Maxi Kleber, Josh Green, Jaden Hardy, like basically all those guys I feel comfortable leaving for a second or two if need be.
The problem is you just listed their entire supporting cast.
Yes, literally their entire supporting cast. And then even if you want to count Kyrie, he's not shooting the ball well either, so I'm not really too worried about him. So it kind of feels like it is Luka's job to generate everything, and he's not even at 100%. He's still struggling with his health at the moment. I don't know what the adjustment is here. I don't really know if there is one. It's just so tough for them to come by offense. Maybe Kyrie can pick it up. I don't know how he does that with the way they're playing him. Maybe they call it a bit tighter and he gets the line more, but I don't know. From the Mavericks perspective, this is going to be tough for Jason Kidd.
And going to the other coach, Joe Mazzulla for the Celtics, I mean, the adjustment to have Tatum guard whoever's playing center for Dallas, genius.
Yeah.
Because he can just switch. If it's Kyrie or Luka on a pick and roll, he can just switch. And now you got Tatum, who's far from a bad defender. He's very good, actually, guarding Kyrie or guarding Luka. Like, it's not even a mismatch at that point. Basically completely takes away the point of the pick and roll is to get the switch and get the mismatch onto Luka. And even when he's in the post, Tatum's big and strong enough that he can handle a Derek Lively in the post, or he can handle a Daniel Gafford in the post.
I mean, yeah, that's what they did all throughout the playoffs. The Mavericks did that. Obviously, we know the game 2 winner against the Timberwolves, it was a switch. Jaden McDaniels, you could even see on his face, he knew they were cooked and he just torches Gobert. But like, you switch Tatum and like you said, that's not a mismatch. And then let's go on to the other end for the Celtics. So much better spacing. They have Porzingis, Derek White, even Drew Holiday's hitting threes, which has been huge for them. Sam Hauser, Horford, Peyton Pritchard, go down the line. They can hit threes. They weren't hitting them today, but they can drive to the basket and kick it out. If they get Kyrie or like a guard switched on to Porzingis, that's just too easy for him in that mid-range area. Drew Holiday can cut to the basket. They made some great cuts, him and Jaylen Brown this game. So it's been just so much easier for them. And I still think they're going to shoot better in future games. So it's tough to see the Mavericks making some adjustments.
I mean, there is stuff that they can clean up. 16 of 24 from the free throw line is inexcusable. 15 turnovers, especially down the stretch. They had some really lazy passes that really hurt them. Luka especially. He had some bad passes. So, I mean, there's stuff that you can clean up. But I mean, I hate to say it, this just may be a case where the Celtics are just the better team.
Yeah.
They just are. And you can make adjustments. You can, change your tactics a little bit. But at the end of the day, you're playing against a better team.
So what do you guys think? Are the Dallas Mavericks cooked? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, please consider giving a like, and hey, while you're here, check out some of our other content as well. Don't forget to subscribe to Synthetic Sports.